called Sharp Objects. I just decided to make cupcakes with little glass in it, shards, you know. Sharp Objects. Damn! Spooky season. Disclaimer, if I say anyone's name wrong, I'm sorry. I'm just not good with names.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
So the story starts off in Chicago. We have our character, Camille. Okay? Camille is a reporter. Normal day at work, and her boss calls her in her office. He's like, you know, Camille, tell me some stuff about your town. And she's like, it's small. What else do you want me to say? I don't want to talk about it. And he's like, well, did you know about the little girl that went missing and then she got murdered last August?
Damn!
And he's like, well, another little girl just went missing and I need you to go to your hometown, figure that out, make a great paper so we're popular, and handle it basically. And she's like,
Did he say?
you know, the story starts off pretty slow. I'm not gonna lie to you. But we just get this sense that, you know, Camille obviously doesn't want to go home. And yeah. So of course she's like, no, he's like, yes, and she ends up going to her hometown. Because if she didn't, this would not be a thriller. She gets to her hometown. Oh, by the way, her boss, his name's Frank. Okay, Frank Camille. She's at her hometown. She sees all these missing flyers, and she basically is trying to ride around. In her hometown is her mom, her stepdad, her sister named Amma. I had a sister. Her name was Marana. Her name was Marana. She's dead, okay? So she heads to the police office, you know, start the investigation. And she meets the detective. She's like, hey, I'm from blah, 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 blah. And he finds out, you know, she's a reporter. And he automatically dislikes Camille. He's like, I don't want the town to be known for murdering little girls. And she's like, well, it's my job as a reporter. He's like, you suck covering little dead girls. Like, what do you want me to do? It's my job. I have bills to pay.
What more do you want from me?
Anyways, that's not working out, right? Next, 3/4 cup. Oh, we gotta do some math.
I hate those math problems with like billions of fucking stuff like add numbers to make more numbers.
So he's no help, and then she's like, you know what, I'm gonna figure some stuff out. So she's walking around and she meets these teenage girls and she's like, hey, where's everyone searching for the body? And she's like, oh, it's in the forest, like the blonde girl tells her. They're laughing and she's like, anyways, so she goes to help them look for the missing girl. And here's some things you find out about the missing girl. She's a tomboy. That's basically what we find out about her. She's a tomboy, okay? She's not a girly girl. She's a tomboy. Anyways, they go in the forest. There's no luck. They don't find her. All we know is that this is the same forest the other missing girl was found. And her neck was strangled. And her teeth were pulled out. And her legs
arms were cut off. Her legs were cut off. Her ears were cut off. Her tongue was cut off.
I'm kidding. Oh, just her teeth are pulled out. Okay? Anyways, Camille has flashbacks of her past where this is the same forest, everybody hanged out. And, you know, some stuff happened. She was a high schooler. I'm not saying high schoolers do this, but, you know, stuff happened. She was popular. You know the story, okay? So now she goes to Anne. Anne is the first dead little girl. She goes to that house and she's just asking them, you know, can you tell me more about Anne and what happened that day? And he's like, well, Anne loves to ride a bike and she would just ride around and they like the same block. And you know, she was growing up. It's like, can I please ride my bike to Emily's house? And they're like, fine, you can go. And the distance to Emily's house was 5 to 10 minutes. By the time it was 30 minutes, the parents knew she was gone. Okay, our glass is bowling. So let's go back into it. Okay, so she leaves Anne's parents' house. It's time to go home. It's time. So anyway, she goes home and her mom's like, well. Look who it is. My house is so dirty. I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, don't worry, Mom. They're putting on a front, you know, just trying to be nice, nasty with each other. Because you can just tell Camille does not want to be here, and the connection with her mom is weird. Okay? Now, she's looking around the house. She's looking for Alma. That's her sister that's alive. Little sister, okay? Remember, Marana is dead, okay? So she's looking around for Alma. It's been years. She hasn't seen Alma. Probably doesn't know what she looks like. But she's not around the house. But the mom did say, you know, don't talk about your job here because Alma was schoolmates with those little girls, okay? And she does not need that stress, okay? And she's like, okay, whatever. Like, me being a reporter is my fault.
Boy, if you don't get
It's the next day, and she's riding around. She's riding around, and she just sees this woman on the sidewalk, just destroyed. Like, her legs are twisted like this, and she's like, what's going on? So she skirted that car, and she's like, oh my God, what's going on? And the man's like, call the police. And she's like, why? And she turns, and there is the missing girl, Natalia, dead, sitting straight up with no teeth. The police come, the detective comes, she sees the big shot detective. He's like this famous dude, and he's put on the case, okay? Fast forward, day of the funeral. Camille's mom is wearing green because she says wearing black is hopeless, which people grieve differently, so I'm not gonna say anything about it, okay? It was a nice funeral. You know, Camille's a reporter, so she's writing down everything. Camille's mom is like, if you keep writing, I will personally kick you out. You're being disrespectful. And Camille's like, alright, I'll stop, okay? So Natalia's mom does a very heart-wrenching letter, which I'm not gonna say because I almost cried and I'm not gonna cry. And Natalia's brother, he's sobbing into his mother's arm. He's sobbing throughout the entire funeral while their dad just looks angry, okay? So everybody's leaving the reception, and she sees those same teen girls that helped her find the forest search party, and they're giggling. Like, you're outside a funeral, like, church. Why is there a group of teen girls just giggling in front of us? Now, we're at Natalia's house. All Camille and the mother can think about is dead Marianne, okay? The men are like, we're gonna go in that forest and burn it down. It's cursed. The women are crying at Natalia's house. That's when Camille sees her old best friend, and she's like, hey, nice to see ya, yada yada. Now, Camille goes back to the chief, and she's like, please help me. He's like, no. No, again, no. Anne killed the neighbor's bird, okay? And Natalia, before she got here, stabbed someone in the eye in her class with scissors. So now, Detective Little Camille goes to the park where Natalia was last seen playing with a boy. She goes to the park, and this little boy throws a freaking ball at her. So she's like, oh!
back right now.
And he's like, he has red hair. And she's asking him about the case. Well, my friend James was the last one to see her alive. And he claims that a very ghost-like woman snatched Natalia away. And so Camille's like, huh? And she's like, well, I gotta go figure that out. So she pulls up to James' house. And she's like, you know, James, you gotta give me some more information, you know? Your friend just told me a little. And James like, well, she looked like a ghost, she looked like a mom. And she's like, that's all you can give me? And he's like, yeah, I was only out there playing with Natalia because I don't go out in the sun that much because my mom has skin cancer. And now I don't go outside at all. Because I will not get snatched like that. Period, James. Stay in the house. And she's like, well, what do you do to protect yourself? And he's like, I got that on me, okay? You don't gotta worry about that. Mind you, he's like 8. And then Camille sees on the living room table next to his food is a gun, and she's like, "Okay, James, you gave me a lot of information. I'm gonna skedaddle now." And he's like, "Yeah, get back, okay?"
Come here, pussy. Get the fuck out my goddamn dog.
Now, once she leaves, James is reminding her that, the police don't believe him. Oh, he's using an excuse as to, like, his feelings towards mom being sick, blah, blah. BFFR. Camille reveals some more things about herself. Like, she cuts herself. She likes putting words into her skin. That's how she cut herself. And thinking about all this, she just can't help but think about her dead sister, Miriam. And how she was always sick, and the mom would always be hovering over her. Marianne was just like a ghost. She had a feeling that she was kind of happy she died, so she could put out her misery. That's how she felt. Now, enters Alma. You know the sister that doesn't appear, right? She's 13, okay? She was the blonde little girl helping Camille get to divorce with her friends. She finally appears in the book, and she's like, "Wow, does a little girl have to die around here to get some attention?" She's like, "I wish I was murdered so I could get as much as attention as Natalia." And I'm just like,
That doesn't make no sense. My man.
who is this chick? Next day, we meet the hotshot detective at the breakfast joint. We had to get some info on this dude, okay? He's the detective on the case. Now, he's just like, I'm not gonna tell you nothing, but I definitely don't think it's a stranger in town that killed these girls. And I don't know why, but Camille just starts thinking about how she knows nothing about her dad.
Child. Anyway, so.
Now, Camille's driving, she's leaving the diner, and she sees Amma, and she's like, "Oh, what's my sister doing?" And she's like, "Are they stealing stuff from Natalia's shrine?" Yes, they made a shrine on the road for Natalia, and Alma and her friends are stealing stuff. And Alma sees her sister, and she's like, "Are you gonna report this? Where's your mother?" Actually, where's our mother? Because you're about to get a spanking, okay? But that's just me. I mean, no violence, but... Camille's trying to leave. She's like, "Cannot believe my little sister's doing this." Alma's not done talking. She's like, "Do you know nothing? It's obvious who did it. It was Natalia's own brother. He has a little girl fetish, and I know." And Camille's like, I don't want to know why you know, why you think you know, but you know what? I'm about to dip, because this is weird. This is getting weird. You mean the same boy that was crying at the funeral, crying his eyes out over his dead sister? Having a little girl fetish? I don't know about that, okay? Anyways, Camille goes to the bar, and she bumps into all her mom's friends, and they're drunk. And she's like, "Who do you guys think did it?" And they're like, "I don't know. There's so many people that it could be. But you want to know something, T? Natalia's brother, Josh, he just moved in with his girlfriend. He lives in the house behind the girlfriend's house. They're definitely doing it." He was like, "Not the information I needed." And the moms are like, "We don't know if Josh did it, but we do know their family is strange." So now, Camille being the real detective in this case, she goes to Anne's house. And, the mom is staring at her like... And meanwhile, the dad is going on and on about Anne, saying that she was such a loud, energetic person. She spoke her mind, and that she definitely beat that person up. She did not go out without a fight, okay? He literally loved her so much. And so as Camille's trying to get more information from the dad, all of a sudden, Camille's mom enters the house.
Excuse me,
And Camille's just like, "Excuse me?" And Camille's mom's like, "His wife called me. I'm sorry she's harming you, you're leaving. And Camille's like, I'm not. And she's like, you're leaving. So Camille's going, she left. She was weak in the knees. Camille leaves the house. I'm like, girl, your mom's not paying the bills. Get back in that house and talk.
Y'all be weak in the knees. Stand up. Stand up.
And she's leaving, but as she's leaving, the dad's like, oh, you don't know that your mom was really close to my daughter. Gave her tutoring lessons. Camille's like, I did not know that. Now Camille gets home and mom's like, you know what? I'm done with you being here. You're hurting me. You're making me sick. You need to leave. And Camille's like, I'm not leaving. The case is not done. And you know, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, you know why you're sick? This is where I started to think the mom did it. Because you didn't tell me you were tutoring this little girl. Why? Why, Mom? Huh? You're a little too connected to the case, okay? You're a little too leave the house so much, okay? I watch Criminal Minds, so I know what I'm talking about. But let's continue the story, okay? Camille goes home, distraught in her room, and all she can think about is how her mother never loved her, and how she would parade Camille all around town. But as soon as they got home, she would go in her room and just like ignore Camille. That woman never loved her. I remember that one time when she was with her mom had a little friendly gathering, and one of the mom's friends bought her baby. And when all the moms were in the kitchen, Camille sees her mom stare at the baby like this. And she just slowly reaches down and she grabs a piece of the baby's cheek in her mouth and bites down on the baby's cheek, biting the freaking flesh off. And the baby cries, the mom's running. And Camille's mom's holding the baby, and she's like, oh, she's just fussy. Police!
Help! Police! Help!
It's the mom. Like, what? Okay, so now let's go the next night. Camille's driving around like she usually do, but she sees Amma, and she's like, what is this demon child doing? Follows her all the way to a pig slaughtering factory, and she sees Amma just staring at the pigs die. She's like, Camille dips. Like, I would too. What kind of hobby is this? Camille's at Natalia's mom's house, and you know, she's being introduced in the house, and Natalia's mom's like, oh, how are you? And Camille's like, oh, I am a reporter, Camille. And the mom goes, call us again, and you will see what I'm about, okay? She kicks Camille out. No one likes reporter Camille, okay? But she's doing more work than the detective. But what do I know? Josh, aka Natalia's brother. Natalia's brother's girlfriend named Michelle. Sorry, she wasn't really important to me. Let's call her Michelle for now. And she's like, you know, I'm gonna get Josh to talk to you. Don't worry about it. And Camille's like, bet it up. Alright, so now we meet the detective again, and they're at the park, and Camille tells him that, you know, I saw a woman once bite a baby. And he's like, who? And she says, I don't know. I can't tell you. Girl, you don't think that's suspicious? But we're not going to get into it, okay? But anyways, so they're at the park, and Amma and her crew show up. They were dropped off by some teen boys, okay? Not a part of her age bracket, outside of that. And Alma's like, when are you gonna drive me and my homegirls in your police car? And he's like, I'm not taking your 13-year-old behind anywhere. And she just opens her legs, showing her panties. And they're like, disgusting, okay? You're 13. Go play with some dolls. Which Alma does, okay? Every time she goes in the house, now, Camille always sees Alma playing with dolls, okay? That's kind of her thing, besides, you know, watching pigs die. Now, they're trying to leave the park because these are some demon behind 13-year-old girls, okay? And Alma, of course, just has to say, what are you doing with my used-to-be hot sister? This is Alma, right? I'm Camille.
Where's this bitch? Where's Shocking if you out there and you hear me? Girl, I'm waiting on you.
Call me ugly in front of the hot detective. So now, for some reason, the mom invites Camille and Alma to go dress shopping for Camille. Mind you, the mom knows about Camille cutting. So you tell me what her intentions were. Because I have some thoughts, and you know, other people have thoughts, but I have some thoughts about it. But so we're just gonna see how this goes. Anyways, they go dress shopping, and Camille's having the worst time of her life, literally. All these dresses are exposing her cuts and words, all the words she's cut into her body. And the mom's like, Camille, why aren't you coming out here? And Camille's like, you know why I'm not coming out. And she's like, it's not that bad. Show me, show me, show me. And so Camille goes, fine, I'll show you. And that is when Alma sees her sister's cuts. And she's like, oh, you cut yourself. And yeah, they go home. And after Camille's mom yelling at her saying, see, you destroy your body all the time. You're a terrible person, blah, 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 blah. You know, Alma's not really, she's always saying nothing about it. And for the first time, you're like, finally, Alma shuts up, right? Or at least that's how I felt. You know, now it's the following day, and Josh is telling his side story. Basically about how Alma is a demon child and would always bother Natalia. Like one time he saw Natalia leaving the forest, looking with cuts, bruises, and Alma looked the same. Like they fought or something. Mind you, Alma and Natalia are in 2 different age brackets, but I'm not saying nothing, but I'm saying something about it. So the whole time, Josh is just talking about Natalia in such a loving way, and you can just tell it's not him, you know? He just has such nice things to say about his sister. She's like, okay, where were you the night Natalia went missing? And he was like, oh, I was driving around. And then Meredith butts in, and she's like, no. He was with me. And you can put that in the news report because I don't want nobody to think my man is a baby killer. I mean, period. Meredith has a point. Now, we also find out that, yes, Natalia did move from that town, but she only stabbed the girl's eyes out because the girl was bothering her. And Josh is crying. He's like, literally us moving here is the reason she's dead. And the reason we came over here, Natalia got better. She went to go get help. She literally had nightmares every night from stabbing that poor little girl in the face. So it's not like she did it on purpose, is what he was saying, basically. Don't mind me getting TikTok content. Now, she goes to a party with her old friends from high school, and it was just not a good time. Camille, since you have no kids, you will not understand how we are grieving right now. And they all have kids and stuff, and they're just shaming Camille for being a reporter, blah, 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 blah. And her best friend from high school, old best friend, because they split apart, takes her home and she's like, ignore those girls, okay? They are just obsessed with making babies. Period. Not everyone wants kids. Understandable, because you could have an Alma who is psychotic. But anyways, from that party, she also found out that Alma made Natalia cut off her hair. This is everything she knows now, and she's waiting for people to call her angrily. But the person that calls her isn't the sheriff, isn't anyone like that. It's freaking Meredith. And she's like, why didn't you include me in the newspaper? And homegirl's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, I was there. I talked about me being, Josh's girlfriend. Why is that not included? And, Camille's like, not to burst your bubble or anything, but this case is extremely not about you and Josh's relationship. It is about 2 dead girls. Aaron's like, you know what? I can tell you some better stuff about Natalia. Pull up. And Camille's like, duh.
Okay, pull up, hoe.
To where Natalia's body was found and bumped into Hot Detective. Hot Detective. What? He's like, you know what, Camille? If you give me a tour around town, I'll tell you some more stuff you can put in your newspaper, okay, shawty? So you can just tell that the detective has some feelings for her. That's just a vibe. Now, they're doing a tour around town, and Camille finds out from him that they just can't find where where the little girls were killed. They can only find where they were found, like their dead bodies were found. And then out of nowhere, he asks her, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And she's like, "No." "Do you have a girlfriend?" And he's like, "No." And you know what happens? And it's like, we're at a forest where a girl died, a little girl, and we're kissing. What's going on?
Whoa.
Now, the detective reveals that he doesn't believe that Natalia's brother did it, nor does he believe the little boy that said a woman did it. So it's like, then who the frick did it? Richard? That's his name. Anyway, she comes home, and her mom's waiting for her in a creepy behind nightgown. And I know, you're like, what the frick? Same. I was like, what the frick too? So basically, the mom was telling Camille, like, I never loved you, and I wanted those girls to be perfect. And she leaves the room like, what? Like, she said, like, I was trying to get close to those little girls so they could be perfect. And she's like, what are you talking? Do not judge me whipping, okay? I'm trying to get it done, okay? So don't you judge me. So now Camille's at Meredith's house because she wants to talk to Meredith. And she sees Josh. And Josh is at the pool. And Alma and her gang members are there. And she's just staring at Josh like, you want to kill me? And he's like, maybe. And it's all weird, okay? And he's just like, I got my eye on you. It's like he was flirting, Camille says, but he wasn't. But he was. And it was disgusting. Like, what's going on, Josh? You're grieving right now, but no. Definitely not Alma. Oh my god. And you know Meredith gonna whoop that boot when she find out, but that's not my business, I guess. Meredith reveals that the reason why the little girl's teeth are taken away because they always bit people. Anyways, like Anna bit Camille's mom when she was tutoring her because she got upset. She called the detective up. She's like, did you know the little girls bite people? And he's like, whoa. Who told you that? Who did the little girls bite? And she's like, I can't tell you. And he's like, bro, shut up. Like, don't call me if you're just gonna not answer. Like, basically, like, girl, come on. Now, she goes home, and the stepdaddy's like, you know what? You need to leave. You're making your mama worry. Like, shut up. Anyways, it wasn't important, but that's what happened. So, anyway, she has a rough night after finding all this out, and she calls Frank. Frank is like, you know, he's like her father figure, basically, and he makes her feel better. Hashtag be a Frank. Hashtag Franks forever. Now, anyway, she pulls up to the detective's house after her dad did all that terrible stuff to her, and she's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, I think it's Natalia's brother. I think he has a little girl fetish. And so now she gets pulled to a party by Alma. Don't know why she joined. She gets high with them, gets drunk with them. And John and Meredith show up at the party. And all the little girls and the teens, because it's a high school party, but it has those little girls in it. They're like, baby killer. And Josh leaves upset, and Meredith does too. And she cusses him all out and leaves with him. So it's like weird. Anyways, so now Camille's high. Alma's high. They are spinning in the road, blah, 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 blah. They get injured. They go home. And they're cuddling. They end up cuddling. And there's bruises everywhere. Anyways, the mom finds them. And she gives them some medicine to make them feel better. And all Camille can think about is how this medicine really reminds her of all the symptoms her dead sister had. She's wobbling, looking for Alma, and Alma's like, she gives me these meds all the time. And Camille's like, our sister didn't die from a sickness. Our mother killed her with these pills. Because she's been drugging her up, and she's drugging us up. Like, oh my gosh. Just put the cupcakes in the oven. Our glass is glassing, and we're popping. So she visits her mom's friend's house. She's like, has my mom been crazy her entire life? And she's like, well, your mom's mom did not take care of her well. She was always like nitpicking everything she did. She would like it was gross. Anyways, she goes to bar in distress, and then look, she sees John. And she's like, John, what are you doing? He's just sobbing. He's like, I'm about to get arrested. my sister's dead. What else can go wrong? And you know, she's driving him to Meredith's house, and he's like, no, she can't see me like this. Drunk. All crying. He's like, take me to a motel. She's like, okay. Do not ask me why, but they are. And guess who's at the door? Hot detectives at the door. So he's like, I bet you had fun. She's like, that's not the point here. What are you doing here? He's like, well, your mom called and said you were missing. She's like, well, I'm not. Anyway, she drops John off, and he's like, Josh, whatever, Josh. She's like, that felt good. And she's like, yeah. Like, ew. She goes to one of her friends that hate her, basically, and is like, can you tell me some more stuff? Because you work at the school. Did you see anything? She's like, no. It's just like your mom was really close to the girls, always taking them out for lunch, recess. You know, she would stand outside the gate staring at them. What? And you didn't report this case?
Help! Police!
So, you know what Camille has to do now? She needs to go to the hospital and look at her dead sister's reports. She goes. She finds the report, and the report is from a nurse, and she says, the daughter is not sick. I believe her mom is making her sick with pills because our record shows she's not sick, dying from any illness, and she will only hug her daughter when she's in pain, when we're there. But other than that, she's not like motherly to the daughter. It seems like an act. Of course, everyone ignores the nurse. That's what the nurse tells her, because she pulls up on the nurse, and the nurse is like, no one believed me. I was a nurse. Family dinner. Anyways, the nurse tells her that the hotshot detective was just here. So she pulls up on him. She's like, you knew my mom was the killer? And he's like, listen, we're gonna go raid your house tomorrow, okay? And you need to go home acting normal, okay? And she's like, oh my god. And, you know, then the mom tells her, like, I never loved you, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I know that, blah, 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 blah. There's some beef. And the mom's like, I tried to make you perfect, okay? And something like that, okay? Anyways, Camille's in the bathtub. She's just, you know in that movie, in movie scenes where they, like, drown themselves because, like, all the pressure, what they're dealing with. Yeah, that's what's happening. Police come. They're like, Camille, we're here. You're naked in the bathtub, and we're trying to raid your house. What's going on? Anyways, Richard sees all the cuts on her, and he's like, you harm yourself? Sorry, you were too busy while we were, like, you didn't notice the cuts on me, but whatever. Anyways, they didn't find the teeth of the little girls, but they found pliers with the blood DNA of Natalia and the other dead girl under the mom's bed. And they find the diary of the mom talking about how, you know, she was drugging Marianne, and that she was drugging Camille, but Camille was so feisty all the time she stopped. They take her to the courthouse, bro. Now, we're like, why does Camille have to take custody of Alma and not the stepdad? Anyways, she takes custody of her, and you know, they're back in Chicago. The paper went popular. Camille's not in the right place to like think correctly, so she denies all these offers from people to make her famous and all that. She takes in Alma. Alma gets a new school like she always wanted. Alma in the story says that, you know, this place bores her. She wants to go to New England. Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, she's in Chicago. She got new friends, new high school. Oh, we're improving. You know, Alma has these crazy outbursts still, but Camille's handling it better. Then Alma makes a friend named Lily. And Lily is like an angel. She's amazing, beautiful, fantastic. Camille is so proud that Emily is friends with Alma, and that Alma became friends with Emily. I believe her name's Emily. Yeah. And then one night, Camille's asleep, and she wakes up, and Alma's above her, and she's like, you like Emily or Lily better than me? And Camille's like, what are you talking about? A week later, Emily/Lily/whatever her name is missing. Camille finds her body 3 blocks down from their house, sitting perfectly. No teeth. Boom! She goes home. She's flipping everywhere. She's flipping the house around, almost like. And then she looks at Alma's dollhouse. The freaking floor tiles are the missing teeth. Like, it's just a floor tile of missing teeth in this dollhouse. And Camille was like, ugh, what's that, you know? She led both of the girls into the woods. It was a tea party. And, you know, she like dressed like a goddess looking ghost lady to kill Natalia. So the little boy was correct. Like, oh, also her friends also helped her kill the little girls. They held her down while Alma strangled them to death. And you know, you just notice that Alma just likes hurting people. The mom still goes to jail though because she killed Marianne. Don't get us wrong. But yeah, I gave the book a 7 out of 10. 8 out of 10, 7.5, 8, okay? Because Alma I really thought it was a mom. I was like, cannot be Alma. That's just like boring kind of. But the way they reveal it to still be Alma, I liked it. Does that make sense? I liked how they revealed it at least. Yeah. Look how cool. Huh, yes. I made glass, bro. Like, tell me who's doing it like me. Quickly. Oh, you can't. Okay. Prison. Wherever she is. Did you guys expect it to be Alma? I did. I just didn't want it to be her. I was like, give us something new. Give us something fun. Arden? Let's